Today I'm going to be showing you a Crockpot Honey Sesame Chicken recipe that I tested. Spoiler alert, turned out so good. So first it calls for making the sauce, and it calls for low sodium soy sauce. However, I have coconut aminos, so that's what I did. And it just calls for a half a cup, and then it calls for 5 tablespoons of honey. And this is a little measuring cup that I actually got from Pampered Chef, and it allows you to put, sticky ingredients or peanut butter, honey, things like that, and you just actually can push it. You'll see it a little bit later, but you push it and it just easily measures out ingredients that can tend to be a little bit harder to measure. Then it's going to call for 3 tablespoons of rice wine vinegar, 1.5 tablespoons of tomato paste, and I had some in the freezer that I just pulled out. Then the recipe called for 6 cloves of garlic minced. However, I used a little bit more because I felt like these little cloves were kind of small. But you can also just buy the pre-minced garlic to throw in there if you want to make it even easier on yourself. Kind of whatever you want. Then it calls for 2 teaspoons of sesame oil. And I know that this is a seed oil and it's not great for you. It's come out that it's not great for you. However, it's 2 teaspoons. I am going to look for an alternative, but for this recipe, I just went ahead and used it. Then you're supposed to add 1.5 teaspoons of sriracha or more to taste. You'll see that I add a little bit more. And then you're supposed to grab 5 tablespoons of water, but you're only going to use 1 tablespoon for the actual sauce. And then you're going to want 1.5 teaspoons of grated ginger. I definitely did a little bit more. I just kind of eyeballed it. So after I had all my ingredients together for my actual sauce, I wanted to go ahead and prep the chicken and get that into the crock pot. And this recipe called for 2 pounds of either chicken thighs or chicken breast. I use chicken breast. I'm not a big fan of chicken thighs. I know that's, a lot of people think it has more flavor. My sister's one of those people. I don't care for it. I prefer chicken breast. These particular chicken breasts did not have a lot of fat on them, so I didn't have to trim a ton off, which I actually really love because I don't like working with chicken all that much. But anyway, I just went ahead and trimmed the fat off of it and cut them into cubes so that they would just go into the crock pot easily and maybe even cook a little bit faster. So now that everything was ready, it was time to actually put the sauce together. So I just quickly added all the ingredients, and you'll see that honey, that is the measuring cup from Pampered Chef, and you just push it and it easily pushes out all the ingredients that are in it. So I went ahead and added everything together and gave that a good mix, and then we were ready to put everything into the crock pot. So after my sauce was ready, I just put the chicken literally in the crock pot and then pour the sauce over it. It's that easy. I turn it on and it was ready to cook. And I do want to note, this recipe called to add black pepper, but it did not call to add salt. I assume the salt content is supposed to come from the soy sauce. However, I used coconut aminos. My sister and I both agreed, once we tasted it, I wish I had added a little bit of salt. So I would suggest adding some salt at this point. So then you just pour your sauce over your chicken. Make sure you've got all that good stuff, all the garlic, all the honey, in there, and you just want to mix it up. And if you do use frozen tomato paste like I did go in and mix it after about 30 minutes. Just to make sure that the tomato paste was good and stirred in. And I do think that was a good call. Then you're going to cook this on low for 3 to 4 hours. Then as a side dish, I just decided I was going to do some carrots. I got these carrots from the local farmer's market, and they're huge. They were huge carrots. But I just processed them into chunks. Then I added a little bit of avocado oil on top, not too much, just a little bit to, coat it so it would cook well. And then I use this truffle salt. If you like truffles, it's so good. I get it from Costco. I haven't seen it there lately, I'm not gonna lie, but I think you can find it in grocery stores or on Amazon. Hands down, it is my most used seasoning. Then I added the carrots to a parchment-lined baking sheet, threw it in the oven at 400 degrees, and baked them for about 20 minutes. Then I also needed to make some rice for this dish, and I have just started making my rice in the Instant Pot. It's so easy. So I started with 2 cups of rinsed white rice. And then I'm using bone broth because it has more protein in it. And that's just a tip. If you are trying to eat more protein and you don't always want to just eat more meat or eat more tofu or whatever it is you're trying to get more protein in, if you're making rice or pasta, using bone broth adds a lot of protein. So for making rice in the Instant Pot, it's basically a 1-to-1 ratio. I've seen where some people would add a little bit more. I have found if I add just a little bit more liquid, I think it turns out better. So that's what I do. So it's a 1-to-1 ratio with just a little bit more. And then salt and pepper to taste. And then I have to give credit to my brother on this. He taught me to just put a splash of oil and then a little bit of butter, and that just helps make the rice so much better. And it really does. I do try to cut calories in a lot of ways, but I can really tell a difference adding a little bit of oil and adding a little bit of butter to how good the rice turns out. But it is completely optional. So then you just put your lid on, make sure it's on correctly, make sure that your seal valve is on seal and not vent because you want it to come up to pressure. That's very important. And then you're just going to click pressure cook, and I cook it for 4 minutes. I turn off the keep warm, give it just a second, and it will turn on or start. And then it literally comes up to pressure, cooks for 4 minutes, and then you let it release naturally for 10 to 15 minutes. Then I decided to go ahead and freeze my leftover bone broth, and I use these, I think they're called super cubes, like S-O-U-P-E-R, like soup. But they're so great because you'll see on the side it tells you exactly like you are putting in a half a cup. And so I just fill up the line to show a half a cup, and that's how I freeze my chicken broth, unless I'm doing it in the cubes, like the ice cube tray. But this way I found it's a lot easier because I'm actually able to see, okay, this is a half a cup, and I know that's how much it is. So I just poured that in there, put on the lid, and then threw that in the freezer so I wouldn't be wasting that bone broth, because bone broth is expensive. By this time, my carrots had been cooking for a little while, so I just wanted to flip them around, make sure that they were cooking evenly. Now, I should note that I did not start prepping the carrots nor the rice until my chicken only had like 15 to 20 minutes left to go, because you're also going to make like a sauce that takes like 15 minutes. And so I kind of wanted everything to be getting, everything to finish at the same time. So right now, my sister was actually pulling out the chicken, because you pull all the chicken out and then you shred it. And I have to say, at this point, the house was smelling amazing. So anyway, she just took the chicken and did shred it quickly. It was very hot, so do be careful if you're doing it. So then you're on to the last part of the recipe, and that's just making like a thick sauce. And what you're gonna do is add cornstarch to your sauce that your chicken cooked in, and it creates kind of that sauce that's gonna go on top. So you put 2.5 tablespoons of cornstarch into a bowl, and then the remaining 4 tablespoons of water, and you create, just mix it and make this slurry. And that's what you're going to pour into the crock pot and let that cook for 15 or 20 minutes on high until it slightly thickens. So at this point, my rice had actually been sitting to come down from pressure for about 10 minutes. And you'll see when I release it, it did have a little bit of steam, but not much. But I just hit the valve, let it vent, and you'll see the rice is perfect. Now, I do go ahead and pull mine out because if it stays in, it will overcook the rice. Also, the carrots were finished, so we went ahead and pulled those out of the oven also. So once your sauce has cooked on high for about 15 or 20 minutes, you're going to go ahead and stir it, and then you're going to add the shredded chicken back into the crock pot. I went ahead and stirred it just to make sure all the chicken was good and coated with that sauce. To say that this turned out tasty is an understatement. This was so good. We just put the chicken over the rice with some carrots on the side. I had some leftover zucchini I'd air fried the night before, and it was so good. Pretty easy. I think that the Crockpot chicken itself was really easy. I think preparing, the carrots and the rice and making sure it's all done at the same time, it, does make it a little bit more complicated. However, the overall just, prepping of the sauce and putting the chicken in, it was not hard at all. One thing I will say, and I said this earlier, I would have added more salt to the actual chicken when I was cooking it. I do highly suggest it. Maybe if you're using soy sauce, you don't have to. But if you do coconut aminos, I definitely would add some more salt. But we just added salt at the end, and it turned out fine. But I would say that this recipe definitely got a 9 out of 10 for taste. I thought it was just absolutely delicious. My sister liked it too. Now, I forgot to add the sesame seeds to the top of my sesame honey chicken, but when I had leftovers the next day for lunch, I did add them, and it was delicious. And please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Anything you do definitely helps, and I'm so grateful.